On this episode of the Ants Nest, we discuss the JackJumper who needs to lift his game. We talk about Andrew Andrews' doppelgänger, and we preview a big game against Cairns. This is Tasmanian Takeover. March on, Jackies.
These JackJumpers, they just never say die.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tasmanian Takeover. This is the Ants Nest, a for fans by fans podcast where we talk nothing but the Tasmania JackJumpers. Still no Birdo. If you're listening to this, it's probably Thursday or Friday. Birdo is still in Sydney. Up there sweating it out. He's a lot closer to the sun now that he's in Sydney than he would have been back in Tassie. But we hope to have him back soon. I know you're listening, Birdo, so hurry back, mate. We miss you. But we are very lucky to be joined again by former under-15s coach of the Sydney Football Club, my under-15s coach, funnily enough. And co-creator of the Tasmania Devils Supporter Facebook group, Fred Webster. Welcome back to the podcast, mate. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me, mate. It's always good to be back and talking a bit of basketball, which is my second love, but, and it's the Jackies, so let's get it.
The Devils aren't far away, mate. I can promise you that. Look, let's jump straight in this week. This is our preview show where we are going to preview our upcoming game against the Cairns Taipans, which is going to be played at the Cairns Convention Centre on Saturday. Bit of an away week for the JackJumpers. The Southeast Melbourne game will have been run and won by now. Unfortunately, we didn't get to cover that because we are recording on a Tuesday. But the last time we played against the Cairns Taipans was November 1st, and it was played at the Silverdome. I don't know if you remember this one, Fred, but the final score was 69-75. JackJumpers lost. What do you remember about this game, mate?
All I remember is that Silverdome's cursed for us.
There's something about it.
I'm sorry, Launceston, but yeah, we don't do too well up there. I remember the game just being a real slogged out game, like no offense was easy to get. Well, you just look at the scoreline. I think it just sort of proves it. No one was really getting their shots. No one got momentum. It was just a real grind of a game, unfortunately, but we didn't get the win up in Lonnie. I hope the Lonnie people do get a win soon, though.
It's got to be coming. I don't know whether they need to take some sage up there. I don't know if they need to do a rain dance, or maybe Launceston doesn't get enough rain, and that's what makes My State Bank Arena as formidable as it has been in the past. But I've got a theory that maybe it's built on an Indian burial ground. I don't know. There is something about the Silverdome that we just don't like. Saying that, Cairns are coming off 4 losses and 1 win. And the last game we played against them, they only had 3 players who scored more than 3 points. And they still managed to take the devil-shaped chocolates. Andrew Andrews had 27 points. Admiral Schofield had 18. And it was the return of our boy Jack McVeigh, who just came back down and broke our hearts with 23 points. And he was named man of the match. And he was super influential by all reports. Sam, it was awful. It was so. I had to put my Jack McVeigh jersey at the bottom of the jersey pile Not that it helped at all, but it just breaks my heart that I don't know if you've listened to the podcast much, Fred, but we've got what's called the jersey curse on the podcast, which is every time I buy a jersey, a player either leaves or gets sacked. And yeah, Jack McVeigh. I bought a Jack McVeigh jersey last year, and he ended up at the Cairns Taipans, so I can only take a bit of responsibility for that.
Yeah, well, I've got one in the closet too, unfortunately. But
yeah, to the bottom of the pile.
I think I've got it on now, to be fair. I wore it at the gym, so
yep.
Nice light
Jackie's
jersey. It's pretty good for the gym.
Yep. Yeah, they are good. They are good. Sam Wardenberg is returning from injury this week, where, he's a good player too. So looking forward to that matchup versus Magnay, because that could be one to watch. Let's move to our player to watch this week. And you mentioned this in our earlier podcast this week, Fred. I've got Tyger Campbell as the player to watch this week. He copped a bit of grilling in the after game presser against the Breakers. They were sort of like, what's going on with Tyger? And there has been some questions around his impact. I think he comes out firing this week. What do you reckon?
Yeah, like I said on the last podcast, I think he just had an off night. He had a quality opposition on him. A really, really good player against him. I think too. I think being an import, there's going to be more eyes on the players. So the focus when anyone has a 2-point game, there's going to be a lot of focus on it. And there's going to be a lot of scrutiny, and it's pretty unwarranted, really, because it's only 1 week. I'd be more worried if it was he'd done it 3-4 weeks in a row. That's when you're sort of saying, "Oh, what's going on here?" And he probably gets moved to the bench, and Benez sort of covers his role, or they get equal minutes. Like, that's sort of how the progression sort of works. But I really hope, and I think he will come out and he'll be given a bit of a green light this week.
You reckon the shackles are off? Tiger
Let
time.
him loose. Tiger time. It's going to bite them all.
I love it. I wouldn't want to be bitten by Tyger Campbell. Actually, I know he doesn't believe in shampoo, so you don't know what you're going to catch if you're bitten by Tyger. I've
heard he's actually a super nice person, so he probably hasn't got it in him. He hasn't got it in him to bite you.
I hope he does. I hope he bites one of the opposition players. I hope it's just before halftime. I hope it's extremely contagious and a lot of them get it.
Jack McVeigh.
100%.
Sorry, Jack.
All right. So we've started on a bit of a down note that Tiger needs a big game. Let's move to our who needs to lift section, and it's not Tiger this week. Funnily enough, I've actually picked Nick Marshall, who probably needs to show a bit more than he has. I don't know about you, mate, but I feel like Nick, since the Sydney game where he won the game off his own bat, he's been a bit off. He's been a bit down on what he can produce. How have you seen Nick Marshall's year?
Nick, I knew very little about Nick, actually, when he came to the Jackies, and I'm actually quite impressed with him. He's got a real good nose for the ball. He goes for it as hard as anyone. He's got that. Well, it's got that Tasmanian spirit, that never die sort of spirit. Hitting that buzzer beater would have been a massive, massive high for him, and in turn, probably that sort of that internal pressure sort of he's probably overthinking things a little bit too much now, and and thinking of the consequences because of such a shining moment. But in saying that, he's got a great three ball. His handles are pretty tight. He does see the floor pretty well with his passing. He does a little bit of everything, which is what you want from a role player, I believe. Anyway, because of Jackie's depth isn't quite there, he does make a lot of difference when he's up and about.
Would love it. We're just watching the vision of him now. If you're listening on Spotify, get over to the YouTube page and watch the highlights, because we did a bit of a throwback to his game against Sydney, where he was just blistering. I think he ended up with 14 points, but was clearly the best player on the court, and we know he has it in him. And if there's anything we're probably missing this year, it's that clutch player who gets the last possession and makes it count. And I just think we saw it again in the game against Sydney. I think Nick Marshall can be that guy with a bit more opportunity. And if him and Tyger can step up against the Taipans, look out, because we're going to be very, very hard to beat. All we need is an even contribution from everyone pretty much, and there is no stopping us. But Nick Marshall is just one I think can go to another level.
Sure.
Let's move on now. We're going to talk about our key matchups, and this one will come as no surprise. We've already covered it a little bit, Fred, but the positional battle I want to talk about: David Johnson versus Jack McVeigh. I am licking my lips at the thought of this prospect. And how do you think they match up on each other?
I think they match up on each other very evenly. Similar type of player, similar archetype, very offensive minded, but they do have tricks in their bags where they can get other players involved. Jack has probably got a bit more of a back down game with the post up moves and his fallaways. But Johnson, he's got that mid range. I spoke about it last time. I just love that, gets off the screen and just pulls up and just, floats it up in there with a beautiful elbow shot. Like, there's nothing better than that. But, they're classed as low percentage shots, but like if a guy like that can get going with that mid range, and then they think he's going to keep doing mid range, he's just going to pump fake, go straight past. He's going to get easy 2 points, or he's going to get collapsed on and it's going to get kicked out to three, and we get an easy three ball. So if he gets going, a lot of avenues can be really opened up for the JackJumpers for this game, I reckon.
So you think the game, the game within a game, I guess, David Johnson versus Jack McVeigh, going to turn into a bit of a shootout?
Oh, absolutely. And Jack's Jack's going to come out and give himself 110%. He's going to show that emotions. He's going to mouth off. He's going to be chippy. He's going to give if he gets his tail up, I think everyone knows what Jack's like. If he gets, if he gets to the line early, gets to the 3-3 line, or he gets a few nice threes, or that fall away jump shot, and he gets his tail up, that's when, we really have to clamp down on him, and sort of make everyone else shooters and accountable for them to get the score. So we really have to clamp down on Jack.
Absolutely. I've another man that I want to make sure there's a tight tag on is Andrew Andrews. I don't know if you remember the last game he played at the Silverdome, but he was everywhere. Finished with 27 points, and he looks like Sergeant Dokes from Dexter. I don't know if you remember that show, but I hope he doesn't come out and just go surprise motherfuckers and score at will, because he destroyed us last game, and we really need to clamp down because he's mercurial. He just did some crazy things. Do you remember that game? And what did Andrew Andrews bring that we couldn't stop?
Well, first thing, you don't trust someone that's got two first names, and you
Yeah,
know what I mean. Yeah, don't trust people like that.
especially when they're
So
the same.
the
The
same.
same name twice.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on, Mr. and Mrs. Andrews.
Oh well, they probably run out of ideas for names. Who knows? Yeah, you know what? He's a really good guard. He's more of a shooting guard, so his movement off the ball is pretty awesome. I mean, he's from the States. When these sort of shooting guards play, they shoot. They don't muck around. They get to their spots, and when they're hot, they're on flamethrowers. You know, like NBA Jam style. He's on fire, sort of stuff. So
Yep.
yeah, if he gets off the hook, you know, we could be in a bit of trouble. But in saying that, I think if we can really focus on Jack first and kind of see what Andrew Andrews has got, and then sort of, you know, chip away at both of them, because they really haven't. I don't like ragging on other teams, but they really don't have another super shot creator other than them
Yep.
two. So a really good team will have a shot creator. You know, you need 3 or 4 of them, and usually one's a small forward and the rest are guards. Not many shot creators come from the power forward or the center position. So that if we can lock them down, I think we've got a pretty hot chance of like getting over the top of them.
Beautiful. All right. Well, let's move on now to our bold prediction. How who do you think wins this game, Fred, and by how much?
I reckon they're going to do what I've just said then, and we're going to win by 17 points. So we're going to blow them out. We're going to blow them out of the water.
Yep.
I don't know if that's wishful thinking, but I think we're going to blow them out of the water. And I think our guy Tyger is going to have, you know, like 16 points, 8 assists. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm feeling. I think he's going to go off.
We'd take that every day from Tyger. I'd love it.
Yeah.
I actually think this will be a lot closer than that. I think this will be a tough
biased.
game. Yeah, that's okay. We don't mind that. Birdo in the 2 years that this podcast has been running has never tipped against the JackJumpers yet. So,
Good boy.
Yeah, I know. Not biased at all. I actually think this will be a tough game. There are no easy wins when you've won one of the last 10 games. I've actually got Cairns by 5. Yeah, I think we need.
You've got that Jack. Where's that jersey? You got that jersey?
Yeah, I'm not.
got the Jack. Got Jack McVeigh's jersey.
I've got the McVeigh jersey on. I don't know. Me Jordan Crawford one's been getting the workout this season because I haven't brought myself to put the Jack McVeigh jersey on. So I'm calling it Cairns by 5. I know that's sacrilege to tip against the JackJumpers, but I'm hoping that because I'm a terrible gambler, that call will go against me and I will look silly for tipping Cairns. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, if I'm right, I'm gonna just infiltrate the podcast and go ha ha ha.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty much it for our game preview. There is one more thing that I wanted to touch on that we didn't get to talk about in the last podcast, but we have had an announcement this week that the JackJumpers or the Tasmanian basketball will be getting a new team, the WNBL Jewels. What did you make of that announcement, mate? What do you think of the name? What do you think of the logo? How exciting is this for women's basketball?
Oh, this is huge for women's basketball. I play a little bit, even though I'm an old man and I should be in a wheelchair. But the participation from women and young girls, especially in the Kingborough area, and you know, even around Hobart, is massive. Like this gives these girls another avenue to really pursue basketball, not just as a hobby or a sport they like. You know, they'll learn to love it now, and they'll have people to aspire to you can get close to, you can talk to, all these sorts of awesome things that come with getting a team in your state or in your town. I love the logo. I'm actually a huge fan of it. I think it looks really cool. Yep. The ant with the jewel on the head, that's so cool. Very smart design. And I reckon I'm going to sneak along to a few games and check the girls out when they get up and going. Because the High Performance Centre, and that's going to be in the Kingston area. We might be able to sneak down and see some trainings and see what they're all about. And I'm pretty pumped for it, actually. It's super exciting, and it's exciting for Tasmanian basketball. It's a really, really, really awesome time to be a Tasmanian.
It's great that we've got another team to get behind, because obviously My State Bank Arena is about 3,000 to 5,000 people too small. It's sold out every game the JackJumpers have ever played there. So to be able to have another avenue to get to elite sport and watch some proper superstars of women's basketball run around, it can only be a good thing. And hopefully if they're based out of the Silver Dome, they can run whatever curse is infiltrating that place off the court, and that'll maybe they can show our boys how to play the Silver Dome. That's what I'm counting on.
Yeah, let's get the Queen Ants up there, eh? Get them up there.
Absolutely.
Get rid of that curse. Win a few games. Win all the games if they'd like, and then we might sneak back up there and play one or two Launceston and see what happens.
Do you know what? I reckon if we have a double header, but the JackJumpers play first until they learn how to win at the Silver Dome, the Jewels can be the main attraction. I've got no problems with that whatsoever.
No, I like it. Good idea.
I love it. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for our preview show against the Cairns Taipans. If you are listening to this, please leave a comment down below. Tell us who you have got your eye on this week, who you think is due for a big game, and any interactions. Please reach out, let us know. You can comment on Spotify, comment on YouTube, leave us comments. We love comments. And on that note, until next week, march on, Jackies.